Hi friends, welcome back to Math in Focus Singapore Math Student Edition, Course 2A. Here we are with Chapter 1.4, Subtracting Integers. This chapter has three subsections by adding their opposites, distance between two integers, and real-world situation. Okay, so let's get started. So the first we have here is adding their opposites. In this case, you can follow what we had done in adding integers with different signs. Okay, so this is what I have written here for your quick reference. Okay, or we follow this method as it's given in your book. So let's take an example. So let's say -5 minus -2. Okay, so how do we solve this? We say it's -5, and then it says you have to take the opposite, right? Adding the opposite, adding their opposite. So you're adding, and the opposite of -2 is 2, basically, right? So this is -5 plus 2, and then you know this rule, larger minus smaller, which is 3, and you put the sign of the larger. So this is how you can solve this problem. Okay, so if you don't remember that you have to add the opposite one, simply know the rule, right? Minus and minus, minus times minus gives you plus, right? So you follow that rule. Let's take another example. 5 minus 2. Okay, so first we write the first digit as it is, first number as it is. Then we say it is, you add the opposite basically, right? And this is again 3 here. Okay, so this is how you solve these problems. Let's understand how it is to be done on a number line. Okay, so we take the first example here. Let me first plot the numbers here. Okay, let's mark them. Marking 1, 2. Okay, I guess that should suffice us. Let's see, if need be, we will extend it. Okay, so this is -5, -4, -3, -2, -1, 0, 1, 2. Okay, so what do we need to do here? So basically it says -5, right? So we start here. Okay, we start here, and then it says you add the opposite, right? So it's basically this, when you minus two numbers here. So while you do subtraction, the rule here is when you are subtracting a negative number, you move to the right. Okay, so we have a negative number here, right? So -2. So we move 2 digits, 2 units left. Okay, first unit, second unit. So here we are -3, which is same as this. Remember, when it's negative, when you're subtracting a negative number, you go to right. Okay, similarly, when you're subtracting a positive number, you go to right. Okay, so let's take the next example. Let me extend this line. Okay, so we can just continue on this one itself. I just need a few more. This is my 3, 4, 5, and that should be okay. 3, 4, and 5. Okay, so we have 5 here, right? So we start at 5. This is our starting point. Then it says -2, so subtracting a positive number, right? So you go 2 steps to left, right? So this is 1 and this is 2. So here you get 3, which is same as this. Okay, so this is how we do subtracting integers by adding their opposites. Okay, so you reverse the sign here, right? So that's what it's being done here. Hope it's clear, easy, right? So let's move to the next part, which says distance between two integers. How do you find the distance between two integers? So let's understand again this with the help of an example. Let the two integers be 2 and say 6. Okay, So here we will be using the number line. So let's have our number line here first. Okay, number line. Do you like it? Yeah, it's easier to do the calculations, right? And you should like everything in maths. Maths is fun. Math is fun. Yeah. Let me start this here with 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and so on and so forth. Okay. So I want to find the distance between 2 and 6. So where is our 2? Our 2 is here, right? So from here and 6 here. What is the distance between the two? You take the distance here, right? So this is unit 1, this is 2, this is 3, and this is 4. So the distance is basically 4. So this is how it's done on a number line. If you were to solve it basically, so does it matter if you count this way or this way? It doesn't matter, right? Even if you count this way, you'll still get 4 units. So similarly, when we use absolute value, whether you write 2 minus 6 or 6 minus 2, it is the same thing. Let me use my pen so it's much clearer. So it's 2 minus 6 or 6 minus 2 in the absolute format. Okay, so we know this is minus 4 and this is plus 4, right? So this is absolute value, and absolute value is never negative, right? So this is 4 and this is also 4. So here you are. So this is how it's done using absolute value to find the distance. Okay, let's take another example with one positive and negative number. Say for instance 2 and minus 3. Okay, so let's get our number line done first. Okay, now here, because you have 2 and minus 3, you don't need a really long line. So let me say I'll start my minus 3 here, because we know it's one is positive, one is negative, so we don't need to go beyond minus 3, right? So let's say this is minus 3, minus 2, minus 1, 0, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so the distance between minus 3, this number, and 2, this number. Okay, so if you start counting 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So it's basically 5, right? The distance is 5. Even if you had come this way, the distance would still be 5. So this is how it's done on number line. So let's see how we do it using absolute value format. So when it's absolute value, it's like 2 minus 3, right? You're finding the distance. So this is how you write it. Or you write it, say for example, this minus 3 as it is, and you're subtracting, and this is 2, right? So this is how you write in absolute value format. So let's solve it. So this is 2 minus and minus, becomes plus, right? So this is 2 plus 3 absolute value. And here it is minus 3 and minus 2 becomes minus 5, right? And this is 5. So the answer for both of them will be 5, which is same as here. So this is how you do it using absolute value format. And finally here we have real world situation. As we said in other videos, we won't be solving any sum over here because we will do them during the independent practice, as this is more about forming the equation, right? And this kind of equations that you need. And when we have real examples, it's much easier to understand them. So we will do that part during independent practice. So let's just have a quick recap of what we have done in this chapter. Subtracting integers, you have by adding their opposites. So we said we can follow what we did while adding the integers with the different signs, or you follow this method where it says you add the opposite, right? So you add this minus became plus here, and opposite minus 2 is plus 2. So that's how you do it. Or you do it on the number line. But remember, on number line, when you are subtracting a negative number, you go to right, okay? And when you are adding a negative number, when you are subtracting a positive number, you go to left. And then we saw how to find distance between two integers. You can do that using the number line, or you can follow this absolute value method. And finally, real world situation. So this is what this chapter is about. I'm sure this has been clear to you. As always, I would say if you have any doubts, any questions, any queries, please feel free to comment. And please watch out the other videos for other chapters and independent practice. Have fun. Remember, math is fun. Enjoy your math. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.